Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Social Live. I'm joined by my fabulous guest host today, Jules M. Mahan.
Oh, follow me on Instagram.
Yes. Kim will put her hands up below. You're almost at how many followers?
800. I just broke 800, so please don't unfollow me or mute me.
Congrats, Jules.
Thank you.
Our special guest, Lex, hopefully will have some tips for you on how to grow your personal
She just
Instagram
has
following
a few
today.
more followers than me. I think she's at like 80K, over 80K, so.
A girl can dream.
Right?
Well, it is a beautiful sunny day here in New York City if you are not tuning in from New York today. I think we're in the clear. I've said this a few times, but I think summer is officially here.
I really hope so. I need to set up my AC unit, though, because I haven't been sleeping because it's been so hot.
I apologize.
In my apartment.
You know who did have good weather this weekend?
Who?
The Royals. They had a perfect day for the royal
did.
wedding.
They did.
It was trending all over Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. All of our news feeds were flooded with photos of the new princess and Prince Harry. I woke up at 6:37 a.m. on Saturday to catch every moment of the royal wedding. I did set my alarm.
You did?
And it woke my husband up, so he decided to start live tweeting the royal wedding as well. I don't know if you've checked out his tweets, but he was making fun of it, and I was
crying
in awe. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful, but what did you think of her dress?
You know, she had her own style. It was very simple. It was very plain, but I think she looked gorgeous. A few sizes too big, but Meghan is beautiful inside and out. I think she's going to be an amazing princess.
Is she a princess or a duchess?
I think it's both.
I don't know.
Yeah, she's a duchess, but she's also the princess.
I liked watching the royal wedding because I follow Gary Janetti, who is the funniest man on Instagram and has like personified Prince George into the sassy little man, and the memes and pictures and content he was posting, I was in tears. It was so funny. He was dragging the royal wedding.
Did you wake up early or you watched the recap later on social media?
I just watched it on Instagram.
Social media.
Yeah.
All right, well, speaking of Instagram, we have a lot of big Instagram and Facebook updates today. The first update from Instagram is they are going to be rolling out a usage feature on the platform that is going to be coming soon. So Instagram is going to give you a message once you've already scrolled through your feed and you're caught up on all of your messages. They're going to send you a message that says you're all caught up.
For content from the last 48 hours.
Yes.
So I want to know, how long is it going to take me to scroll through 48 hours worth of content? And yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's interesting because I think once you get that notification, it would most likely, or at least it should, prompt you to close the app and sort of like
That's the point.
Check yourself.
They're trying to help people limit the amount of time that they're spending so you're not aimlessly scrolling.
Which is interesting because if you close the app after that, you're not going to be able to see ads, so it could hurt them in a way, but it also, again, helps to build trust with their audience that they're trying to, be cognizant of how much time you're spending on the platform. I think this is really cool, and I think we're only going to continue to see updates like this from all the platforms across the board.
Yep, I completely agree. And I will say that I'm following so many people on Instagram, I don't think I'm ever going to be fully caught up. So I probably will never see this feature.
Yeah, I agree. I follow like double the amount of accounts that are following me.
That's okay.
Yeah, right? It's okay, right?
It's okay, Joel.
My ratio is really bad.
Yes. Instagram also officially launched their resharing of posts to stories, and you can tell everyone about this because you have this feature.
Yeah.
It hasn't rolled out to everyone just yet.
So I think this is a really cool and interesting update. Whenever you see a post that you really like, the same way you would hit that little like paper flag button to send the post to a friend in a DM, you can now share it to your story. And when people go and look at your story, they'll see who originally posted that. You can tag your friends so that they see the content that way instead. I think this is going to really help more meme accounts get started because people are going to keep posting this content maybe from memers with smaller accounts, and then they'll go viral that way. So I think this is going to be really interesting to watch how like content catches on and becomes viral faster.
I think they knew this feature was needed. I can share with you when I look at people's posts and stories, I screenshot them and then we'll send that to someone either through text or through another DM. So this is definitely going to help the social sharing on Instagram, and I think this feature was definitely a must-need.
Yeah, it's the closest thing we're going to get to a regram button at this point in the game. There's also a new update from Facebook Stories. Their ads Facebook hit 150 million active daily users. This is after 14 months.
Of the stories.
Of stories,
active
yeah.
users on the stories.
But for Instagram Stories, so Facebook is now rolling out advertising capabilities on Facebook Stories because they hit 150 million users. Instagram rolled out their advertising capabilities once they hit 150 million users as well, but that only took 5 months. I found that to be really, really interesting.
I've noticed that more of my friends and other businesses are sharing on Facebook stories now that there's the capabilities on Instagram to automatically share to your Facebook profile. So they're really trying to push this cross-platform sharing, which I think they have to do to get more people to start using this feature on Facebook. And I'm seeing so many more of my friends sharing to their stories on Facebook, and I can already see that the content originated on Instagram.
I don't see any of my friends using the Facebook My Stories feature right now. I see mostly publishers that I follow, which is kind of interesting, but to be honest, I haven't really watched it. But when the ad capabilities do come out, it will be 5 to 15 second videos that users can skip through, so pretty much what you're used to on every other platform. I think it makes sense for Facebook to do this, but I wonder how it will help or hurt people adopting this feature.
I definitely think, at least for right now, businesses that are looking for extra free reach on Facebook should be posting to stories, because there's only 150 million people using it right now. It sounds like a big number, but in relation to 2 billion people on Facebook, you can still reach a lot of people and not have to pay for it right now. So start using that feature and test it out.
Yeah, totally. Another interesting update from Facebook.
This is a big one.
This is a really
big one, guys.
Cool. Facebook has confirmed that they are building a influencer platform to connect brands to content creators directly. I think this is like one of the biggest updates from Facebook in the last few months.
So Facebook has all of the data, and these third-party software companies, influencer software companies, are using all of the data from Facebook, from Instagram, from Twitter to be able to create their influencer platforms, but Facebook has the actual data.
Yeah.
They have it there, so they can now create this platform. What they're trying to do is encourage creators to form these relationships with brands, make it easier for brands to be able to reach out with influencers, and have these influencers create authentic content about the brand. And right now, Facebook is not taking a cut of any of the and any of the relationships. So they said that likely could be coming. But right now, this should be rolling out soon, and my prediction is they will develop this program for Instagram as well. It would only make sense.
Totally. And when I was reading some more on this story, it said that advertisers are going to be able to go into the platform and search for influencers based on the audience that they're trying to reach. So they'll be able to see the followers that this content creator has. Right now, this is only for Facebook, like you said. So while Instagram is like the main platform for influencers to, make money and everything and promote their content, I definitely think this will roll out eventually, but it will be interesting to see which brands and influencers, how they partner, because I don't see a ton of influencers using Facebook or using the creator community. So I think this will be cool to see if there are new influencers that kind of make it because of this update. And
I think they're using it as a test on Facebook, and they already know this will definitely work on Instagram, because that's where the bigger community of creators are.
What if they find the influencer and then they go to their profile and they see their statuses from 2007 that are so embarrassing, and that messes it up?
That could happen.
You've got to delete your statuses from middle school, people.
Well, these are going to be their business pages, so they probably
I hope they do.
They probably won't have their middle school statuses on there. I can't believe you had Facebook when you were in middle school.
I wasn't allowed to have MySpace, and I was too scared of my parents to go behind their back and do it. So Facebook was a huge deal when I was allowed to make a profile in 7th grade.
Wow, we got a lot to talk about, Jules. Well, I'm definitely excited to see where this platform goes. Something we share with brands all the time is it doesn't matter the number of followers that the influencer has. It matters who the followers are of the influencer and who you can actually reach. Because if you're a brand, and we have brands that come to us and say, I want to work with this influencer. They have 1 million followers. And I say, okay, are there followers in your target audience? Mm-hmm. Is this going to make an impact on your business? Because if it's not your audience, it doesn't matter if this influencer has 1 million followers. So Facebook's got the data. Let's see what they can do. And we're excited to be a part of this and follow this.
Yeah, totally.
So speaking of amazing influencers, we are so excited to welcome our very special guest today. Lex, come on over. Welcome to SocialLIVE.
Oh, shit. Sorry. My mic is caught. My mic is caught.
Make sure you're all set up here.
Hey guys,
welcome.
What's up? I am so pumped about this meme sharing because
Yeah.
my life is actually a meme. Like
Yes.
anything to do about pizza and anything, I am like so relate to it. I think that's my most saved page on my
Yes.
like Instagram saves, and I just got that feature yesterday. So I'm like
Oh,
shooting, and
yay.
I always shoot out memes on my Insta stories, and literally people like die because like, oh my god, that's me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it is
That's me.
actually me.
That is
though.
why
What
I
meme accounts do you follow?
Oh gosh. I mean, they're like bad words. Is that okay? It's like
That's
that
fine.
basic
Yeah.
bitch
Yeah.
and like salty bitch and whatever. Girls who love wine, obviously. I love wine. And I mean, there's like I literally follow like 50. Like they're all my favorite.
Yeah.
But I also really like Fuck Jerry. He's really funny.
Yes. Do you know Adam the creator? We've
Yes,
had him on our show before.
yes,
They're
yes,
amazing.
yes. They're so great. Anyways, thank you so much
Yeah.
for having me.
Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah.
So we have a few questions to get to.
Mm-hmm.
So your account is primarily fashion, then you also have beauty, travel, all these amazing things. So I want to know, how did you first get into the fashion world? And when and how did you discover Instagram and social media as an outlet to kind of express your passions and interests?
Yeah, so I know this sounds really cheesy, but literally born with the passion for fashion. Like
Love that.
ever since I was little, like my mom would try to pick out my clothes for me for school. I'm talking 4.
Yeah.
And I was like, mm-mm.
No.
And I would go and sit in my
Like
closet.
Joan Rivers.
And I would like have this huge closet already at 4 years old for some reason. And I would pick out my clothes, and it would take me like an hour in the morning because I was like always so interested in dressing myself up. And even when I was little, I said like, the 2 things I wanted to be is I wanted to make clothes and I wanted to be a princess. And now I'm very jealous of Megan. So whatever. Saturday was very rough.
There's still hope.
I know. And so I grew up that way, just always loving it. My mom was super fashion forward. Seeing her, get dressed, and I come from a Hispanic family, and we just kind of believe in always looking your best, even if it's going to your grocery store. I mean, you kind of don't ever see me leave the house in sweats, to be honest. And so I went to school for fashion design and minored in business, and afterwards I just knew I wanted to move to New York and start something of my own. So that's really how, the day after I graduated, I moved out here, kind of no job,
God.
no plan, no nothing. This was 4 years ago, and I worked a lot. I worked a lot of different part-time jobs and a full-time job for a while as well. And then I just became full-time. It'll be a year on Memorial Day.
Congratulations.
It's so exciting.
Thank you. It's a very long story on how I got into fashion because it's just it's been my entire life.
How did you know you could make the leap from leaving your full-time job to just focusing on your blog and your Instagram?
So actually, my job was restructuring. So I actually was down. I was not demoted, but I mean, it wasn't because of my work. It was great. They were just restructuring my position. So they moved me to freelance instead of full-time. And, that gave me the options to either go out and search for another full-time job or to just make the leap and just see this as, a blessing in disguise and really go full-time with my own blog. And I did, and I've been able to do it for the past year.
Amazing. What is your day-to-day like as an influencer and blogger?
Yeah.
Because everyone sees the beautiful photos, but
Right.
we don't get to see all of the behind the scenes, sometimes on the stories, but
Yeah,
what is it like?
I was going to say, if you follow me on stories, you see behind the scenes a lot. And, I really don't hide much from there, but it's different every day. I try to give myself one day where I really catch up and, sit up on my computer, all day in sweats in my apartment, and
Where no one can see you.
Where no one can see me. And that, you'll see me on Insta stories, but, when I leave the house, I put on, cute jeans. And it just really varies. There will be days like today where, I'm running from 6 a.m. already, and I feel like it should be 3 or something, but it's not. And, there's travel. There's a lot of travel, so either I'll leave the city for a little bit, or there's meetings across town, lots of photo shoots, lots of content creation. and I think this kind of falls into a different area where I get asked a lot is like content creation. Like, how do you work with brands? Like, how does that work? And I think the biggest misconception is people think, we can take a selfie with like a like a shampoo and we can call it, a big promotion content. And I'm like, no, that's not how I work. I love to make things a little bit more editorial, things more genuine and kind of more appealing to my followers, think outside the box in terms of my content. So when I do photo shoots, they're not super quick. They're well thought out, staged a little bit because, we want everything to be picture perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's a lot of everything.
It's long days.
It's
not as beautiful as it always looks, right?
No.
Hard work.
It's a lot of hard work.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as you've been building your following in your community, when did you realize your influence on people?
Well, so I guess this ties back into when I first moved to New York. I did not know I was going to start this at all. Like, I had a 5-year business plan written out, to my parents, telling them, why I wanted to move to New York, why this was a great idea, and it had to do a lot with launching my own accessory line and eventually turning into ready-to-wear. And then I was like, well, when I got here, I was like, maybe I'll work in styling and accessory design instead. That kind of I could like integrate those both. So I started an Instagram account just showing kind of, what my personal style is to try to pitch myself to other maybe magazines or editorials to go style for them. And since that Instagram started picking up traction is kind of when I was like, oh, maybe I could like flip the switch and style myself for other people.
Yeah.
And like, mind you, I still I think I was only following We Wore What at the time.
Yeah.
And I thought she was 2 people. Because we wore what, so I thought it was like 2 identical twins. So I was like,
funny.
oh, that's crazy. And so
Have you told her this?
No. But I mean, that's like, I really just had no knowledge of it. And then when I started seeing that like the followers were growing, like, very organically and people were wanting to see more, I thought to myself, I was like, okay, maybe I can, start building this and making this a business. And my business plan from 5 years ago has changed a lot. But for the best, and it's been really exciting.
How would you define your personal style?
I always like to think of myself as pushing the boundaries with fashion, for sure. I think I dress very uniquely, which I think is very important, especially in like a market that's so saturated now, and I understand everyone has their own personal styles, but I think mine encourages women to, play a little bit more with patterns, shapes, colors. And, I am not stick thin. So I think it's good to show that, even a size 6 girl can play with different silhouettes as well. So I guess to answer your question, it would be edgy, bold, and chic. Chic? Vintage.
Yeah,
there's a lot of words
and I
to
love the
describe
bag.
myself.
I don't know if everyone can see it, but the bag that you're wearing is
So fabulous.
Yes.
Thank you
amazing.
so much. I wear it all the time, so I know it's worth the investment, guys.
I know.
I wear it like every day.
I think I'm sold. Is there a link? Do you get commission if I click through and
Yes,
buy it?
yes. All of them I like to know it. You can follow me
Yes.
on Like to Know It. I link it there all the time, but it's worth the money. I mean, I wear it way too much.
So cute.
So networking on social media is definitely important for growing your following, growing your business. But how have you been able to build relationships in real life with people through social media?
Keeping up with people like from around the world, whether it's like commenting or DMing or that way. But I think what's super important is, especially living here in New York, we have events. I mean, there are at least 8 events going on at night, and maybe during the day. And I used to be that person that would people would be like, oh my God, you were in 8 places at once tonight. And I'm like, because that's how I started. Especially I love to meet people. I love to talk to people. And I didn't really figure that out until I moved to New York. Throughout college, I spent my 4 years sewing and kind of behind the scenes and working for designers. And it wasn't until I was put in New York and just kind of thrown into this that I realized I was like, I really love meeting people and getting to know them, getting to know their stories. So that's when I figured, I was like, well, let me use this to my advantage. Go out, meet everyone I can. I mean, I was just like, someone the other day told me I'd come into events like a tornado. Because they were like, you're always spinning around because you're always talking to people, you know everyone. I'm like, yeah, because that's how like you get started.
Yes.
Like you're not gonna get to know anyone sitting, you know, in the corner of the room or sitting on your couch behind your computer. In the end, it's about the people you meet, the connections you make in person, and then keeping up with those through social.
Networking is key.
Absolutely.
In any business, no matter what industry you're in.
And I think that still helped me. I still like work with people that I met my first day that I moved to New York. One of my best friends, Keller May Courtney. Yeah. My first photo shoot ever for like blogging. I had like 3,000 followers or something. And we met. We both had the same amount of following, kind of, and she has exponentially grown since then. But we're still best friends till today.
That's awesome.
You know, 4 years ago.
Everywhere.
She's in a commercial now.
She's in a commercial, and then people are like texting me, being like, "Hey, I saw your friend in a commercial," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know, Courtney."
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm so happy for her. But I mean, it's things like that, like the smallest events you can make connections for life.
Yes, absolutely. Dream brands. Who do you want to work with?
Oh my gosh, I get asked this like all the time, and I have worked with so many great brands.
Yeah.
Last year I got to work with European Wax Center, and before that actually came through, before any connections had been made, I was like dreaming about working with them because, you know, they really celebrate women and, you know, everyone and just beauty inside and out, and I love their messaging, and literally, I'm not kidding, I like said it out loud finally to someone, and the email came through, and I was like,
oh my god,
oh my gosh,
Speak it to the universe.
I know.
Yes.
I was like, oh my god, I think I cried. And
that's amazing.
But I think it changes, especially with what I'm wanting to work with. I love working with beauty, fashion, but I think my most current dream has been working with more travel advisory boards.
Yeah.
So I just worked with like Jose Cuervo, which I love working with spirit brands.
I saw your content from that. It was so cute.
I love working with them, you know, because I'm very much about drink responsibility. I'm responsible, but I am work hard, play hard. I love to have a good time, and they were a great time. But I think you learn a lot from traveling around the world, and I think right now my dream is to work with more travel advisory boards, travel brands. Expedia would be really cool to work with.
You put it out there, so.
I know, come to me.
Yes.
So in addition to your blog, you also have a line of fashion scarves.
Yes.
What made you want to focus on scarves particularly?
Well, so like I said, it was like I kind of thought about it right before I moved to New York, and I wanted to start something besides just styling, something to set me apart from everyone else. And I have been wearing scarves ever since I was little. My mom, my grandmother, all wore Hermes scarves, and I remember I bought my first Missoni scarf when I was 15 in Paris, saved my money for a year, and bought like a chiffon scarf, and I remember I wore that scarf every day in different ways for like 2-3 months. Like on my head, I would like figure out how to make it out of a skirt, and ever since then I just really was like, love the versatility of scarves. Yeah. So I'm in a class at my University of Texas, I started designing digital art, designing like different patterns with pictures of jewelry that I'd collected throughout traveling. And I created one scarf, and I remember I posted it. I was just in college, and a store reached out asking where I got it. And
oh my gosh.
I was like, oh, I made that. And
that's so cool.
So then I just started creating more scarves, and you know, as they've become like super in style again, making them like handkerchief sizes and, you know, bigger ones for like sarongs or for the winter. So it's been a lot of fun. It's definitely a really cool way to separate myself from just styling, blogging, and to really incorporate something from my heart into any outfit that I wear.
And we forgot to mention, we're giving away one of your scarves. How can we forget this?
Yes.
So you guys share this episode or comment below and let us know if you want to win one of Lex's scarves.
They're 100% silk, and they're inspired by my travels around the world. So they're really cool. They're very unique, have a lot of fun colors and patterns, and there's definitely one for you, I promise, because there's a lot of them.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on Social Live today. This was great.
This was so much fun.
Where can everyone follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram, and I just started doing more YouTube, which I do a lot of beauty tutorials and talk a lot about my beauty, because I've also had a huge passion for makeup ever since I was little.
Yeah, your makeup's flawless.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, and we might have a beauty client for you, so we'll talk right after the show.
Oh my God, perfect. I love working with beauty. So YouTube, Lexicon of Style. Instagram, Lexicon of Style. And my blog is lexiconofstyle.co, not .com, co. So you can shop, follow the blog and see all my content
Hold
there.
up the follow sign. Tell them to follow
Follow
Lex.
me, guys.
Yes.
Follow Lexicon of Style.
Well, thanks so much for being here. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to share this episode for your chance to win one of Lex's scarves. And we will see you guys back here next week. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.